Hey Chi Alpha, I hope you're doing well during this quarantine time. I just wanted to check in with you today and talk a little bit about celebration of discipline. Hope you can see that. Richard Foster's book. He talks a lot about so many things, and the one I want to talk to you today about is the discipline of service and how we're called to live lives of servanthood. So in Matthew 20, verse 25 through 28, Jesus said, "Whoever would be great among you must be your servant, even as the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve." And so we, in the same sense, are called to be servants, to live a life of servanthood. That means not just doing acts of service, but doing it with a servant's heart and be willing to lay down our recognition and our pride for these things. So Richard Foster gives a list of 9 different ways that we can live lives of servanthood and what that can look like in our actions. The first is the service of hiddenness. That's doing things anonymously, not for our own benefit or for our own promotion or for an applause, but just out of obedience to Jesus. The second is the service of the small things. This directly ties in with that. This is the mundane, everyday, ordinary things that aren't glorifying. They're not, oh wow, they did this, they must be such a servant. This is the things that maybe no one will notice, but Jesus will, and we're called to do them with joy. The third is the service of guarding the reputation of others. This is saying, I'm not going to gossip or speak evil of anyone. I'm going to be honoring and hold my tongue. And that sometimes can be sacrificial, but that's what we're called to do when we live a life of servanthood. We're serving others by protecting them. The fourth thing is the service of being served. And Richard Foster says, "It is an act of submission and service to allow others to serve us. Those who out of pride refuse to be served are failing to submit to the divinely appointed leadership in the kingdom of God." So just as we're called to serve, we're called to allow others to serve us as a submission act, saying, I'm laying down my pride and you can serve me because I love you and I care about you. Number 5 is the service of common courtesy. This is simply what it says. It's just caring about somebody. It's saying, hey, you're worth my time. When you have extra time, or even if it's sacrificially, just being with somebody and giving them your undivided attention, it's taking the time to build and foster those relationships with people. And it's acknowledging that they have value when you're doing that. When you're spending sacrificial time with them, you're saying, hey, it's worth it. You're worth it for me. Number 6 is the service of hospitality. This can be a great act. You could have 70 people in and out of your house all month staying with you, or it can be as simple as, hey, come over for coffee and tea and let's just chat. I'll give you my attention. You're welcome into my home. My house is your house. This is the Lord's, and I'm sacrificially giving it up to serve others. Number 7 is serving the servanthood of listening. That requires compassion and patience in order to be kingdom of God listening. So this is not just inputting your personal guidance or advice or saying, hey, I have the answer to what you're walking through, but it's actually just stopping and listening to really hear their heart and hear how they're feeling. It's being able to relate to someone without saying a word. Number 8 is the service of bearing each other's burdens. In Galatians 6:2, it says, bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. So Jesus, this is what he's telling us we need to do. This is how we can fulfill his law. And when we bear one another's burdens, love is not only created, but it's also fulfilled. Richard Foster says that love is most perfectly fulfilled when we bear the hurts and the sufferings of each other, weeping with those who weep and rejoicing with those who rejoice. And that's what we're called to do. That's what bearing one another's burdens like. It doesn't have to bring you down. You sacrificially give it up to the Lord. But you can serve others by coming alongside them and doing life with them, even through the hard things. Number 9 is the service of sharing the word of life with others. So that means that we need each other. That means that we need community and we need to be together and be listening and talking to each other. So in order to fully hear and know God and what he's trying to say, I can't do that on my own. You can't do that on your own. We each hear from the Lord in a different way, and he may be speaking different things to us that when we put them together, we can understand the complete picture. So these are just some ways that we can live lives of servanthood. If you have more, that would be awesome if you could share them. And I definitely would recommend this book if you want to go into more detail on what these are. But the truth of the matter is that we're called to be servants of Jesus. So I would challenge you this week to pray, Jesus, would you help me know how to serve? And would you bring someone in my life that I can serve? I hope you guys have a great week and a great weekend, and I can't wait to see you all again.